Wow, this thing is a game changer. How did I go so long without it? Today I'm gonna cut all my horizontal pieces for them 4H braces on that job that I started in last week's video. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out if you're interested. My name's Austin Ross. I've been a welder for 14 years here on this channel. I share tips and tricks for rig welders. If those are videos that you're interested in, make sure and subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when I post a new video every Friday. Yeah, I can't believe I've went so long without a lifting apparatus around here. I'm fixing to utilize this bad boy. I got my trailer unloaded. I'm gonna pick up this pipe, get it right here. I'm gonna slide them in and start cutting them, straight cuts. Be what would it be, 16? Yeah, 16 pieces. It is the next morning and I'm headed out here to the job to build all the braces, all 4 braces, 4 rail braces, cap all the posts, put the clips on. That's the plan for today. Like a haze out here. That's because it's raining. I'm gonna go ahead and call it for today. I got all my horizontals strung out, so got something done, but I'm gonna load that water back up. Don't need to worry about fires today, and load my skid steer, go to the house and build the gate instead. Construction, you got to account for that weather. Go ahead and show you what I got done the other day. Got 2 posts down there, 2 right here, 2 right here, and then 2 down there. And then we're gonna put T-posts right in here. And then that gate I'm gonna build today is gonna fit in this 16-foot hole right here.
The following impacts are expected: flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other drainage and low-lying areas. Some locations that will experience flooding include Oklahoma City, Southern Midland, Midwest City, Del City, Yukon.
Alright, we're back at the shop. Got my pipe. I'm using 1 7/8 OD, which is 1.5 inch schedule 40 for the gate itself. And I'm going to use the same pipe that I'm using for the horizontals and the H braces, 2 3/8. Not sure the wall thickness, but it fits exactly. It fits real snug over this pipe. So I'm going to make 2 hinges that slide right over one end of this 1.5 inch schedule 40, and then yeah, just 4 rails, and I believe 5 total counting the ends uprights. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to 45 all the ends. I'm going to use this cold cutting chop saw. I use the Evolution brand. Get a lot of questions on what chop saw I use. That is the one, I got 2 of them now, but I've had this one. This is the new one, but I've got another one that I carry on the back of my truck usually. It's in here right now. But I'm going to use it. I'm going to 45 the ends, and then cut my hinge material, slide the hinge on one end so I don't forget, because I have forgot that before in the past. And then cut my other pieces to length and start building the gate. So whenever I'm cutting a 45 on my chop saw, even though this is set at a 45, I still use this guide right here just to mark it. This guide here specifically has a 45 spot cut out in it, which is this line that my thumb's going back and forth, but it also has a 22.5 angle. So anyway, on this other end, I just eyeballed it. You could put a level on it to make sure this is rolled right. I get a lot of questions on, you know, how I saddle stuff and how I make sure everything's even. Usually on this small of pipe, I usually just eyeball it, make sure it's level, and then don't move it, and then come down here, and I pulled from my long end 16 foot, and I marked it. My long point is 16 foot, so I went ahead and put my mark on here just so I could line my blade up whenever I get it in there. You can find those at your local welding supply or online, I'm sure. I'll get it in here ready, and then this way I can literally get down here and just make sure it's lined up. And then I'll go back here and check it again, make sure it's level. Rolled on me a little bit. I'm gonna turn it back this way. Pretty close. My grandpa once told me, measure twice, cut once. So I'm gonna check my measurement one more time and then make my cut. Alright, all I did here was started with, I got the whole gate in one plane, is the way I learned it. I started with one piece right here, put my 4 foot level on it, got it level, put it across here, got it level, and then put my level here, and then moved that. I just went around just like that to get it all in the same plane. Get both of these level with each other, essentially, is all I did there. Now I'm just trying to decide how tall I want my gate. I was thinking about putting my horizontals and my H braces roughly a foot center, because there's 4 braces and I'm making it, I thought I was gonna go 5 foot tall, but I don't think I wanna go quite 5 foot tall, because I wanna make sure the ground there at this job site is sandy, and I wanna make sure the T-posts are in the ground good. So I think I'm gonna go around 4.5 foot to the top of my upright with my 4.5. That's where I'll cut it off at. So long story short, I want my gate to match my horizontals. With that being said, it'll roughly be 3 foot center to center from here to there. Roughly. I might fudge it a little bit depending on how it looks, because it looks awfully narrow and a long gate, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it might be a little bit sturdier that way, kind of. I don't know. I mean, but I just want to make it appealing to the eye, more or less. That's what I'm doing now, and I haven't cut my uprights yet because I'm going to take my time and look at it and think about it and really make sure that I like it before I cut my end pieces. So I decided on 40 inches tall, 38 center to center, and that'll put me at 12 5/8 center to center on my horizontals. And I think that'll look good, and I'll have enough uprights, enough height on my uprights on all of them. These are my end pieces I cut, and I'm laying them over here so I don't forget to cut my hinge material out of this 2 3/8. Slide over one of these before I weld it on the end. But I was going to show you real quick. What I like to do is I like to take a sanding pad and sand this down. I'm essentially beveling this corner. That way whenever it's butted up, get a scrap piece over here. That way whenever it's butted up like this, there will technically be a bevel in there. It's either that or I could space it, but I like putting a bevel. It's easier to weld. You get more penetration that way. But if you don't bevel it and you just slam it together like this and you weld it, you may not get as good a penetration, and if you sand it down, it's very likely you will sand your whole weld out and there won't be anything, because you're not getting full penetration, there won't be anything holding the gate together, you know, besides on the inside. It's better quality if you bevel it. So that's what I like to do personally. This here is what I'm talking about. Now we have something to weld in, and then we just sand it down, and then we know we got penetration. That's why I like to bevel it like that. So I got everything beveled. Now, sometimes I get excited and I go to tacking this, but since I'm taking my time and taking y'all along, it's helping me remember that I gotta cut some hinge material. I think I'm gonna go 3 inches. A 3-inch piece of that with a, 1/2-inch piece above it that will actually tack to the pipe. Tack the 1/2-inch piece, and then there'll be a 3-inch piece underneath it with a plate on it. I got some 1/2-inch by 4 plate that I'll weld to it, and then I'll weld that plate to the post. I'll probably wait till I get out there to tack this little piece on. But from here, I got those on there so I won't forget. I can go ahead and cut my 2 other long members to go down the middle, running this way. And then there will be 3 more uprights in the middle. So 5 total, counting the end pieces, this one, that one, and 3 in the middle. But I'm gonna run these solid. So there will essentially be actually 9 more pieces, 3, 6, 9. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, back here. So. Alright, so in a situation like this where either one, you don't have an extra help or an extra hand, or you don't have a way to hold your tape, or your tape's not long enough, or anyway, normally I would cross measure to square it from corner to corner, but there's no good way of hooking it on here and whatnot. A good way to check to see if you're square is to use the 3, 4, 5 method, and that just means you go from one end. I done it from the inside here, but wherever you measure from, just make sure it's the same. So I done it from the inside, 3 foot, which is actually, I barely have enough room for 3 foot, but right here. And then you come over here and measure 4 foot, mark it, and then I'm going to measure on the inside once again and it should be 5 foot. And that's what I have. From the inside to the inside, 5 foot. Now I still made sure everything was level, and I still used a traditional square to, you know, make sure it was real close, make sure it was still square with this before I tacked. I got 1 tack in each corner by this point. These are not tacked yet. I wanted to get these 4 corners tacked and then check my square, make sure it's square, and then lay these out where they exactly go once I have a solid perimeter. So that's a good way to check to see if you're square in case you don't have an extra hand to hold the tape for you. Another tip I wanted to throw in here while building this gate is the next step. I've got everything tacked up, everything you see here is tacked up, and I've got to put in 3 more verticals for this gate, but obviously they're broke up into 3 pieces each. So whenever I measure for these, I'm not going to measure down here, I'm going to measure down here where I already have it tacked. That way it's a very accurate measurement. I'm going to measure this one for this slot, and I'm going to literally measure this one. In theory it should be the same, but you always want to just measure just in case, and then so forth for this one also. So that is the tip. Measure on the ends that's already stationary, already tacked whenever you're building something new like this. This is my homemade, well, half homemade, that is just a piece of 2 3/8 pipe with a slot cut out of the end of it for this strong arm, strong hand, whatever, these clamps right here. Just slides in here, and then I just put this piece of angle on the end of here because it was wanting to slide around, and I've been needing to do that to one of my clamps anyway. So anyway, I just put a slot in it, and then I cut this plate out to fit around it. Sometimes if it don't hold, I grind zip disc, I grind little grooves in it, that way this piece catches. But yeah, just homemade long clamp, not much to it, works good. But anyway, I got all the uprights tacked up. Now I'm going to go through and tack all the bottoms because I've just got a tack here on top. But I'm going to go through and tack all the bottom, tack the corners better because I just got 1 tack on the corner. I'm gonna go ahead and put a tack on the inside, get it tacked good, and then start welding it out. There you have it. The gate is complete. My advice for this week is learn fabrication skills. For those of you that are watching that are wanting to be a pipeline welder, learn how to fabricate. You're gonna have fabrication on pipeline jobs, but you're also going to have downtime with pipeline work. So learn how to fabricate. That is what's got me through pipeline slow times like right now. Knowing how to fabricate stuff, build stuff, being diverse in your not only different types of welding skills like TIG, MIG, like different processes, but also just being diverse in not only knowing how to weld pipe. That's my advice. Thank you all for watching, and remember, learn something every day.